Welcome, Cancer, Virgo, and Leo, to your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. This is going to be for the week of September 30th through October 5th of 2023. We're going to start off with the big stuff because the big stuff kind of covers everybody. And then I'm going to break everything down into Cancer, Virgo, and Leo. So I will put the time stamps below so you can get right to that information. And it's within that I will go over the Cancer, Virgo, Leo specific stuff and then break everything down into the 3 decans of each zodiac sign. Timestamps will be in the description box. They'll also be in the comments section. So let's start off with the big stuff, shall we? Mercury is in opposition to Neptune. This bothers me, and it bothers me simply because it is a confusing, it's almost like a hint. It's a hint that something is not completely within our grasp. And on the 5th, Mercury is going to move into Libra while it's in opposition to Neptune. This is very confusing energy simply because Mercury in Libra is very deliberating anyway. It doesn't like to make up its mind. It simply likes to weigh the pros and cons of each situation, and it takes a while to make up its mind because it is always deliberating both sides. In a lot of ways, Mercury in Libra almost likes the decisions to be made for it by exploring or seeking the information and then sort of helping somebody make their own decision. But the fact that Mercury is in opposition to Neptune while this is happening means that decisions will take much longer. And in some ways, the information that they're getting or the outcome that they want could be a little bit confused, if not distracted or almost diluted in a way, or I should say diluted, simply because when Mercury is in opposition to Neptune, you can't really trust the information that's coming out. So what I know is this will slow down any decision process. And in the meantime, Venus continues to move as well to the end degrees of Leo. And in fact, I think it's by October 6th or 7th that she's going to be transiting out of Leo into Virgo. This is tough energy too because Venus is in detriment in Virgo. Venus is not herself in Virgo. It's all about scheduling and being responsible, and Venus is about luxury and indulgence. And the luxury for her when she's in Virgo is to be on time, right? To be exactly where you promised, which is really wonderful. But in opposition to Saturn, this is super hard energy. It's super tough energy. It's super strict energy. Now, maybe that's what we need, especially if we've been overindulgent. But what I'm saying is we're getting into about a week to 2 weeks of energy that is very stagnated. It is very stiff. It's not moving. It can be very frustrating simply because there's a horrible lack of stimulation, if you will. So will anything big or horrible happen? No. I think the difficult part of it is that nothing will be happening. I don't think that this bodes well for any important decisions that have to be made. That will be a stalemate for the next couple of weeks. In terms of financial issues, there will be a lot of frustration and a lot of feeling completely repressed. People will not be moving forward with things. So there is definitely this agitating aspect to the week that's coming. We have Mars opposite Chiron, which certainly isn't helping the situation. It's putting us in the doldrums of why can't I ever do anything right or find the solution of how to move stuff along. This is challenging energy, to say the least. Venus is still sextile to Mars, so there is this energy of I wouldn't say optimism, but we're getting some sort of, it's almost like falling back on sexual stimulation because there's no stimulation anywhere else. That could squeeze us or back us into the wall and make us have to fix or repair some circumstances in and around our sex life, our love life. That may be the only thing we have to focus on for right now. But it just feels like a big old waste of time to me. I know that sounds horrible. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's something that we have to work on, is our connection with each other, our yin yang, balancing out that energy. It's very important. Mars is absolutely still in Libra, so to balance that energy out is important. This will be slow. I wrote this down. We're heading into a time, a couple of weeks of indecision, as well as financial hardship. I'm calling that right now. Do I think everything will collapse? No, but I think there will be a huge strain and it's like all of a sudden we're walking through quicksand. So this week does mark a transit from Mars into Libra, but it also represents almost like a calm, not a calm before the storm, but a build-up before a release. Now, I know we just had the full moon, so everything is supposed to be released, but it seems like there's just this really slow, lethargic energy that is going to take us to the new moon. I think that's on October 14th or 15th. So that's going to take us toward that point where, especially by the 7th, October 17th, things will really start to loosen up and flow again. Let's break everything down now into Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and get into specifics. We will start with Cancerian energy. What do I look for when I break things down into specifics? I look for what's happening in the zodiac sign itself, and then I look for what's happening with its ruling dignitary, since the ruling dignitary does tend to flavor the behavior and the character of everybody whose sun is in that sign. So let's get into it. Cancer, there's nothing going on, nothing big is going on in the zodiac sign of Cancer, but the moon is on the move, and there are a few points during this week that there could be some extra energy. So on the 30th, today, the moon is conjunct to Chiron, which is a sort of kind of cathartic energy. It's sort of sitting in your hardships, your sufferings, your challenges, to understand them, know them, and incorporate them, sort of absorbing the hardships in a way. This could be a day when you take things particularly personally and are particularly hard on yourself. It's also in opposition to Mars, so this could definitely be a conflict, frustrated energy, angry energy, or lack of energy, kind of like the doldrums. This isn't going to be the happiest day, let's put it that way. And I hope you find happiness today. I don't think that it's a curse on us all, but I do think that you'll feel a little bit more wah today. And then we move on to the 2nd, when the moon has gone into Taurus. It is going to conjunct Uranus, and when it's conjunct Uranus, it is trine to Pluto and trine to and it's trine to Pluto. I can't even read this. And trine to Venus. No, it's not trine to Venus. It would be square to Venus if it's conjunct to Uranus. Just because it's so active is when and it's in Taurus. So the moon in Taurus is very happy there. I personally always feel really secure on the days when the moon has moved into Taurus. When it's conjunct to Uranus, this is an essence of kind of ownership over our own uniqueness and feeling the need for shifting and changing. Trine to Pluto gives it an extra dynamic of maybe happy to move more toward the extreme, and trine to Mercury. this could bring on a lot of sort of aha moments or clarity with understanding your emotions, your feelings, or almost prepare you to make a switch or make a change that you have been reluctant to make. This would be the day that you decide to make it. Then we move on to the 4th, which is when the moon is going to be trine to Mars, feeling a kick in our energy and stimulation again. And then we have the 5th, when the moon has moved into Cancer, and it is square the sun, and it is square to Chiron. So this is sort of a challenge of how much do we really believe in what we've decided or what we've chosen, or a day when it will become very clear what our blocks will be, and what we don't know, what we're not so good at. It would be a day that is more prone toward discouragement, but at the same time offers a lot of clarity as to how much strength we're going to need to continue to push forward and make the appropriate changes to our lives. That day might make it a little bit harder on us. So let me break everything down into the 3 decans of Cancer. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Cancer, you are Cancer 1s. This correlates to June Cancerians. Cancer between birthdays between, say, June 22nd and July 1st. Your natal suns are in a long-term trine to Saturn, which is about maturation, growth, and sort of career breakthroughs, that's over the course of the year though. So that wouldn't be just today or this week or anything like that. This is over the course of the year. And then this week, we have a square to the sun through the 10th. So that could make you question, like your natal sun being square to the current sun could make you question your personal authority, lack of confidence, and self-esteem, just conflicts, especially conflicts with other egos. You might feel more inclined to be arrogant and egotistical, to overcompensate for the lack of self-esteem that you're experiencing this week. The best way to deal with it is to allow the challenges to arise. Take your time, be compassionate with yourself, and move forward more slowly. But all in all, a pretty even week for you guys. We also, okay, let's move on to Cancer 2s. Yeah, because there's really not a lot, huge stuff going on right now. Let's move on to Cancer 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Cancer, you guys are Cancer 2s. This correlates to birthdays between July 2nd and the 11th. Your natal suns are this week, well, for a long term, your natal suns are square to Chiron, which can mean that for the next year, everything feels like it's just busting your balls and doing it for no reason. An extra grind that's sort of preparing you to be stronger and, be more effective and efficient. But it's tough. It's a tough couple of years, to be honest. But this week, from the 3rd of October on, our natal suns are going to be square to the sun, which can kind of push you more toward arrogance, to overcompensate for the lack of self-esteem, conflict, egotistical conflicts that you're having. It's best to, especially toward the end of the week, be more compassionate with yourself. And then we have a semi-square to Venus, which can just kind of rub or agitate, frustrate anything financial or in terms of value. This could really be a tough week on your ego, just feeling undervalued, underappreciated, and like nothing is fucking moving. And like I said in the big stuff, not a lot is going to be moving for the next couple of weeks. I would say up through October 17th. There's not a lot of movement, so it could cause a lot of frustration. The challenge for you guys, especially this week, would be to not take it personally, because it's not. It's not personal at all. Let's go on to Cancer 3s. If you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Cancer, you guys are Cancer 3s. This correlates to birthdays between July 12th and the 22nd. Your natal suns this week are sextile to Mercury, which will allow the brain to be very clear, very agile, and for speaking or talking and communicating to open up doors for you. So whatever that means for you, Your natal suns are in a long-term opposition for Pluto, so people will be taking you more seriously anyway. Your natal suns for the next couple of months are going to be squared to the nodes, which also means that you are willing to change and finding yourself at a turning point in your life, making decisions for your future as opposed to staying where you've been. Your natal suns are in a long-term sextile to Uranus. The fact that it's also your natal sun is also sextile to Mercury this week makes for a bright and clear mind, a good head on your shoulders, aha moments, great execution when it comes to communicating with people. This is a great time to take tests or sign important paperwork or draw up important ideas, because the mind will be very clear. And then there's a long-term trine to Neptune, which means it's definitely a psychic time for you. It's definitely a time of beautiful creativity for you. So I think this could be a very productive week for you to share ideas and distribute ideas and really present yourself in a creative, fun way that can open doors for you. Okay, Cancers, I love you guys. And remember to like this channel and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and share this video. If you found it helpful, share it with people that you think would like it too. Let's move on to Leos. Leo. Not a lot going on, but we're going to break everything down into the 3 decans nonetheless. So what's going on with Leo in the zodiac sign of Leo? This is Venus. Venus is moving between 23 degrees and 27 degrees this week. So she is still with Leo, very much still in Leo. It'll be the week afterward, next week, that she moves finally into Virgo. So it will be Leo 3s, those of you born toward the end of Leo season that have your natal suns conjunct to Venus now all week long. What does that mean? It means grace. It means beauty. It means sex appeal. It means really kind of feeling really good about yourself and looking really good and having a natural sort of grace and allure to you this week, which could be very helpful. It's nothing that you're going to have to do, though you may feel a little bit more sexy and a little bit more confident this week. Let's look at what's going on with the sun. The sun is in Libra. It's going to move between 7 degrees and 12 degrees Libra. It is semi-square to Venus, which can cause a little bit of a stimulation, a little bit of a poke in terms of maybe I want to do something about the way that I look, or I want to change things up. But you're definitely looking at or being encouraged or egged on in some ways by either finances, anything that you desire is going to be creating almost an agitation or a catalyst for you to start getting things done this week. And then you have a Sesic quadrate to Uranus, which can also mean that you're feeling agitation when it comes to your own independence and being able to be independent and unique. And so this may make you feel a little bit like more irritated. Irritated, I guess, is the right adjective to describe that energy. At least in how things are going, or how you see things going or not going in particular. So it can be an undertone of frustration this week. Let's go into the decans. So Leo 1, if you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Leo, you guys are Leo 1s. This correlates to birthdays between, basically July Leos, anywhere between the 22nd and the 31st of July would be Leo 1s. Your natal suns through the 2nd are going to be sextile to the sun. So you guys will have an energy of optimism and positivity and sort of like stimulation, a feeling of courage, a feeling of charisma, and a feeling of real certainty, at least up through the beginning of this week. So that could be very, very helpful to use your shine to open doors for you. Let's move on to Leo 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Leo, you guys are Leo 2s. This correlates to Leo birthdays in the beginning of August. So August 1st through the 11th. From the 2nd of October on, your natal suns will start to be sextile to the sun. In fact, if you're born more toward the end of July, like the 30th and 31st. You'll start to feel this really early on and perhaps all week. This is just optimism. It's added optimism, it's added energy, it's added charisma, which can be very helpful. You do have a long-term trine to Chiron, so over the next year, there's an energy of healing going on. And then you also have a longer-term square to Jupiter, which can make your head kind of big. So for you guys, especially this week, the only thing I would say is it's great to be optimistic and you should love that optimism. But are you getting a little ahead of yourself? Or is there a little bit of arrogance that's going on here? I think this week, above all other weeks, I think your charisma could really work for you to push you forward. Let's move on to Leo 3s. If you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Leo, then you are Leo 3s. This correlates to Leo birthdays around the August 12th through the 22nd. So your natal suns are getting a lot of action this week. They are the ones that are conjunct to Venus, which is going to add sort of that allure, sensuality, loveliness, grace about your nature, and sextile to Mars. This is a very sexually stimulated energy. This is a very sexy energy. It is a great week to date for you. It is playful and fun energy. And if you're in a committed relationship, this is a very stimulating, flirtatious energy. It's a fun energy. Your natal suns, however, have been for a while now in opposition to Saturn, especially if you are at the cusp. If you are, I should say actually, if you guys are at the cusp. So cusp between Leo and Virgo, it will be the strongest. This could make you feel restricted. It could make you feel weighed down. It could make you feel not taken seriously or stressed more while this is happening over the next, I would say 6 months more. But this week, I think there will be happiness and there will be pleasure and there will be joy in your lives. It's just an uptick of energy that's coming from that conjunction to Venus and sextile to Mars. So I really like that movement forward for you. Yeah, you let me know in the comments below how you're feeling this energy stimulate you. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And then, yeah, share it with people if you know that they would love it too. Let's move on to Virgo. Okay, so Virgo. What's happening in the zodiac sign of Virgo? There's Mercury. And Mercury is going to be in Virgo through the 5th of this week. On the 5th, the very last day of this week, Virgo is moving into Libra. So Virgo, Mercury will be between 22 and 29 degrees this week. This will mean that anybody born at the end of Virgo season will be conjunct to Mercury. So your mind will be on point this week. I love it. And you'll be communicating very effectively and very efficiently. We'll get a little bit more into that when I go into the decans. So what's happening with Virgo? So what's happening with Mercury? So Mercury is transiting. Mercury is going to be going from 22 degrees Libra, 22 degrees Virgo through 0 degrees Libra. It's going to be transiting into Libra on the 5th, while it is in opposition to Neptune and sextile to Pluto. So there is kind of an energy of extremes, an energy of almost certainty in the thought process, but this is, I think, a little bit dangerous because it's in opposition to Neptune. So there is some distortion that's going on right now. I don't think it's the greatest time to make important decisions. This is more a time, especially because Mercury is trying to Pluto, for discovery and seeking the truth, especially if you feel that there is some sort of nebulous confusing, foggy energy now. This is more of a sense to use your instinct and intuition and find the way that it communicates with you to sort of lead yourself in the directions you need to go to discover the information, the good information, the right information. Things aren't necessarily the clearest as they could be right now. So let's go into Virgo 1s. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo 1s. This correlates to birthdays between basically August Virgos. So that would be, say, August 22nd through the 31st. Your natal suns are simply in a long-term opposition to Saturn, which can be tough energy, very frustrating throughout the year, feeling restricted, feeling pushed down, feeling the grind of commitments especially. So, but that's long-term, and you guys have been dealing with it, and there's not much that is stimulating it right now except when Venus moves in, but that's going to be next week, and we will get into that next week. Virgo 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo 2s. This correlates to birthdays between, say, September 1st through the 11th, in and around those dates. Your natal suns are trine to Jupiter, which they have been for a while. This is going to give you a fair share of optimism and curiosity to expand and grow. Great time to learn, especially with this quincunx to Chiron to help understand more. This is a wonderful time of learning and expansion through education for you, expansion through travel especially. All right, let's go on. But that's it. There's nothing really, these are aspects that you guys would have been experiencing for a while now. So there's nothing really gonna kind of poke at you or overstimulate you this week. And then we have Virgo 3s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo 3s. This correlates to birthdays between September 12th through the 22nd, in and around those dates. Your natal suns are the ones that are conjunct Mercury this week. The fact that your natal suns also have a long-term trine to Uranus and trine to Pluto, this is aha moments. This is breakthrough discoveries, breakthrough understandings. You are in opposition to Neptune, but if any week, this could be a very creative week for you to communicate whatever it is that you are building and creating. It's not about discourse, and it's not about signing contracts as much as it is about personal expression of the self, confidence in it, and actually doing it very eloquently. So I love the thought process and the creative process for you this week. Let me know in the comments below how the energy is stimulating you. If you found this video useful, then please remember to recommend it to somebody that you know would enjoy it too. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then go on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your tarot card messages. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. Bye.